So let's begin with the automatic regulation of respiration. Pre-Bond-Singer complex. So this pre-Bond-Singer complex, it is called as the pacemaker of respiration, and it lies in the medulla oblongata, precisely between the nucleus ambiguous and the lateral reticular formation. So why is it called as the pacemaker of respiration? Because rhythmic drive from this pre-Bond-Singer complex, it activates the phrenic motor neurons that are located inside the spinal cord. You can make out the location of pre-Bond-Singer complex from this figure. It lies inside the medulla. Again, a diagrammatic representation to show the respiratory centers. You can see the pontine centers here, medullary centers, dorsal and ventral respiratory group of neurons. Now, about the medullary respiratory centers and the neurons located inside. Medullary respiratory neurons, these are basically subdivided into I and E neurons. Now, I neurons, as the name suggests, they discharge only during the process of inspiration, whereas E neurons, they discharge during expiration. Now, both of these neurons, I and E neurons, these are located into two groups of neurons, dorsal respiratory group of neurons and the ventral respiratory group of neurons. You can see the location of both the groups here. This is DRG, dorsal respiratory group of neurons. Here is the pre-Bond-Singer complex, that is our pacemaker, and here lies the ventral respiratory group of neurons. This is the medullary portion. Above it there is the pontine center. Again, this is the overview of both pontine and the medullary respiratory center, and the neurons, these are reaching the respiratory muscles. Now let's begin with the dorsal respiratory group of neurons. Mainly, I neurons are there, and this group of neurons, it receives afferent impulses from the chemoreceptors via 9th and 10th nerve. So we'll discuss the mechanism later on, and the airways. But it gives the output to the diaphragm via frenulum. Now there is a process that is called as reciprocal innervation. Okay. That means the motor neurons that supply the inspiratory group of muscles, these are active. But at the same time, the E neurons that supply the expiratory muscles, these are inactive. You can see from this diagram,